So any herbalist knows that the harvesting of herbs and flowers is very important, the time when you harvest them for potency. So there's a lot of idiosyncrasies that can take place when you're harvesting roots, leaves, and flowers. But there's a general rule of thumb that most herbalists will follow. When you are harvesting the flowers, anytime you are going to harvest a flower, you want to make sure that you harvest it right when it opens and before the bees start to pollinate it. If it is a flower that bees pollinate, super important to pick it just as the flower is opening, because at that point in time, all the energy of the plant is going into opening up that flower, meaning the flower is at the peak of its potency. Now, equally, when you are harvesting leaves, leaves should be harvested before the plant blooms. And I'm late on the dandelion this year because I've had so much going on. So I'm late on harvesting the leaves for peak potency, but they're still okay. They'll still be potent, just not as potent. So when a plant is growing, the plant pushes its energies towards certain part of the plants. So before the flowers are opening, it is pushing all its energy and potency into the leaves to produce the leaves and to grow them, meaning they are very potent. But if you wait until after the flowers open, the plant is now pushing its energy toward opening the flower, pushing less energy, pulling back on the energy to produce leaves, meaning the leaves will lose their potency. Now listen, it's peak of potency is what we're talking about, not potency. Plants are always potent, but if you want peak potency. Now, roots. A lot of people will dig up dandelion roots in the spring, perfectly fine. But for me, I do the roots when the plant has died away. Like in the fall, I generally mark a couple, and that is when I harvest my roots for the dandelion. And the reason being is because as a plant is dying and going into dormancy for the winter season, it is bulking up its root system so it can survive the winter's cold, the winter season, and the snow and everything that comes with it. Meaning it's pushing its energy into the root of the plant, meaning the roots will have peak potency when the plant is dying back and when it is done flowering and done producing leaves. So that is the rule of thumb I follow for most herbal potency and harvesting, especially in the springs and summers. But now I will still be harvesting root from the dandelion. I'm talking about peak potency of a plant. Okay, you still have we'll still have potency, but not quite as much. But the time that the dandelion roots are the most potent is in the fall, when they're putting all their energy into their root system to get ready to survive the winter. So hopefully that will help some of you guys when you go to harvest your herb.